Welcome back to the Relaxing Ghost channel here on YouTube. Today we have WWE Fastlane 2015 DVD review. So for the most part, I have only done the more recent Fastlanes. And yeah, we're going to take a look back at the first couple of Fastlane DVDs. Honestly, this was a nice break from the Elimination Chamber at this time in 2015. Things can always get repetitive and whatnot, but overall, I thought this was a decent pay-per-view. You know, WWE's Fastlane to WrestleMania, the road to WrestleMania. So I thought the name, of course, could have been better, but decent event overall. Of course, we got our poster artwork here with Reigns and Daniel Bryan. And this was the kind of push and pull movement of Roman Reigns here into the main event scene, while Daniel Bryan was still kind of scratching and clawing his way into the title picture. He'd been out almost a year at this point, and I think he either just returned prior to the Rumble, and he would end up facing Reigns here at Fastlane, and the winner would challenge Lesnar. So we do have a match listing. Let's take a look at some of this artwork first. Decent spine there with Reigns and Daniel Bryan. You know, always like to see a nice home video logo. So let's get into the match listing. I'll show you the disc art. So decent logo and artwork, I guess. Kind of reminds me of that Over the Limit cover. So yeah, this was who would face Lesnar at WrestleMania. We had Russo and John Cena, and very good feud. I actually really like those matches. So we do have somewhat of a match listing here. Always nice to see. No runtime. Again, this is the Canadian release from E1, which I was not a fan of how they did their digipacks towards the end there. Not sure what happened there, but, you know, wasn't the greatest materials they were using for packaging. So we had a 6-man tag, Ziggler, Eric Rowan, and Ryback versus the Authority of Rollins, Kane, and Big Show. And this is, you know, the fallout from Survivor Series 2014 still. They're kind of giving these guys a little push, I guess, which never really amounted to anything. Tag team title match, the Usos versus Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. Yeah, very good tag team match. Nikki Bella versus Paige. Russo versus John Cena. I believe this was their second pay-per-view match. If not, it was their first. And they would go on to have a really good WrestleMania match. Always liked Russo. Very underrated. Intercontinental title match, Bad News Barrett versus Dean Ambrose. And then there's a match on here not listed. It was Stardust versus Goldust. Went about 8 minutes on Fastlane. You know, very disappointing match, you know, compared to what those two would do at Double or Nothing, you know, 4.5 years later. You know, those guys could definitely work, and, you know, Stardust and, you know, say what you will about Goldust, but they're much better performers than what they were given here. And, of course, the winner will face Lesnar at WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight title. Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns. We also had Triple H and Sting coming to blows. Looks like Luke Harper there in the casket. Rest in peace. And we also have a home video exclusives here with the Miz TV with Paul Heyman, and then the Bellas are unstoppable. So this was at a time where I wasn't really too fond of WWE creative, on and off. Lesnar had been a pretty much vacant champion, absent champion, whatever you want to call it. I was not a fan of that at this time. And he was just coming in for the big money matches. He had some good matches still, but, I wasn't interested in seeing Lesnar once every 3 months. I'd like to see your champion on the show at least, every other week to, come on, once a month at the most. But overall, I think this is a pretty decent pay-per-view. Cena, Russo, Daniel Bryan, and Roman Reigns. Despite Reigns winning here, it's a very good match. And, Sting and Triple H had a really good build. So let me know your thoughts on the first Fastlane pay-per-view. And it's now 6 years later, and we're getting Reigns and Bryan again. So let me know your thoughts on that. As always, we'll talk to you later. Peace.